All right. So, I think since it's the end of 2019, we should talk about the worst movie of 2019.
Worst?
Maybe not the worst.
Did you see Cats?
That definitely probably was the worst movie of 2019. No, we're talking about the latest installment in the Skywalker trilogy, or the last Skywalker.
With the
saga.
only guy in the world who hasn't seen it, Anthony.
I don't know. I feel like there's people in the world that haven't seen him. He's not special.
Yeah, kind of.
He is special, let's be honest.
There's a guy who ain't even in the podcast.
Meow.
Let's just say Anthony's helmet's laying over here.
His Skywalker helmet, the TIE Fighter helmet.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a huge Star Wars fan.
X-Wing fan.
Never seen Star Wars.
So basically,
So
this movie was probably the worst.
This is all spoilers, right?
This is all spoilers.
Because he's not going to see it anyway. So if you haven't seen it by now, that's your fault. Go watch it.
Spoiler alert. Do not watch past this point
From
if
these
you haven't watched the movie yet.
A-list member. You're not doing the A. A-list members only past this point. You've been warned.
did I get the blood right? Right?
The blood?
Just
No,
edit it if it
stop.
Whoa,
So basically, this was a horrible conclusion to the Skywalker saga, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it wasn't an entertaining movie.
I agree.
It was or wasn't?
I wouldn't say it wasn't. I say
So
that
it wasn't entertaining. Mostly entertaining.
mostly entertaining.
Because saying wasn't, wouldn't, wasn't.
Yeah,
It's a
you
double
really
negative.
confused me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I would
So
say the entire
it wasn't-
series of Star Wars is just not appealing.
Oh,
You mean the ones you haven't seen?
that is true.
Okay. All right. Making sure.
No, this movie really struggled to be good.
Which we all expected.
Mostly because, cut. Sorry, you threw me off. Mostly because I think episode 8 was so bad that it was the idea of that it's very difficult for us to make a coherent story at this point.
Yeah.
And they just tried to throw in too much of like
Everything.
callbacks,
Yeah.
new stuff, and stuff that just doesn't feel like Star Wars. It was insane.
Oh yeah, and if you didn't know, Princess Leia was a Jedi the whole time.
What?
Yeah, I hated that. That was
You did? You really think so?
I really
He's
did not like
intimidated
that.
by strong women.
See, that was
Nicholas.
the only. That was one of the big only parts that didn't bother me because they say that in episode 6.
Didn't
Like
they?
that.
No,
Yeah, that they're
they
gonna
say
train
you
Leia.
too will one day, or something along like.
Yeah, like I expected him to train.
They
Leia.
didn't,
But they didn't
outright
show it at all.
train her. Like that wasn't like, hey, you're gonna train with me and you're gonna become a Jedi Master.
She's more of a pacifist than anything, like as a Jedi was. But
yeah.
it's
If
still,
they would have just said in episode 8 or 7, right?
Yeah, but
they would have said, "I gave up
that-
being a Jedi a long time ago."
That's-
You'd have been like, "Oh my gosh, Princess Leia was a Jedi? What?"
That's what I didn't like about it the most. Not that it didn't comply to the original trilogy. It's just that they didn't say anything. Like
The way they
not even
implemented it.
not even a call to it at all throughout the first two movies.
Whoa,
7 and 8.
whoa. Number 8, she used the Force.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Oh, that's out of frame.
Yeah. I don't know. I think her character is fine. It's just the part that sucks is that you look at episode 7, 8, and 9, and you go, we have Kylo Ren who has a story, and we have Rey who has a story. We threw away Finn's story in episode 7. We threw away Poe's story. We threw away every other character's story in this thing. So what does every other character do in episode 9? Absolutely nothing.
Pretty much.
It's insane. Kylo goes on his own little adventure to become a good guy again, which
Well,
to be
first-
fair,
First, he goes to kill
Uh,
Palpatine.
to be fair, in the original trilogy, the only person who has a story is Luke Skywalker, like individually, and then here's this other group.
well, and that's what
And
people
here's
say
what they're
about
doing.
episode 6, Return of the Jedi, is Han and Leia don't have a story.
They don't.
And that's the big criticism. And you can still bring this up as a criticism. I'm not saying that makes it
Okay,
worse
whatever.
or less. I'm
Fine.
just saying
Just make it sure.
that's an issue with me.
You sound hurt. You okay?
It's just like Rey has her thing where she has to decide if she's going to join the light or darkness, which is they try to make this
did it over
huge struggle for her, and she's always been against the darkness. Like you've seen it since clearly episode 7. Why would she just randomly join the darkness? At least with Luke, like Luke didn't understand anything.
And with Anakin, it was a conscious decision. Like,
Yeah.
I'm only joining the darkness to save somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And that little,
Reyes was like,
that
I
little-
don't have a choice. It's going to happen eventually.
that little clip that they threw in
should
the
be a voice
trailer,
actor.
the vision of herself with the Darth Maul X.
yeah, that was weird.
That was really
With the
weird.
fangs?
No, that wasn't in the trailer, but that they threw that in the trailer, and it's like that had almost nothing to do with the major overall.
It didn't matter at
story.
all.
It didn't matter at all.
If
in the
anything,
movie.
it just was just like, yeah, we know she's struggling with the dark side. We got
people,
it.
yeah, people
You
were
nailed it.
freaking out over it. They were like, "Oh, like what's gonna happen?" Is
Yeah,
she
because
gonna-"
in the trailer, it was a big deal.
yeah,
It could have
I-
worked better for me, honestly, is if in episode, because again they waste Luke's character in episode 8. He's in this for how many minutes long? And one of the really fascinating things about the movies is to see, like, I know they're not doing it, but it feels like some of these things they're looking at episode 8 and they're going, "We fixed it."
They are. No, when he
Like-
lifts the X-wing out of the water,
When he lifts the
they
X-
only did that because episode 8
Or-
was such trash.
When Rey she burns her she stole a TIE fighter, she burns it, throws her lightsaber at the burned TIE fighter, and the ghost of Luke grabs it and literally says, "You can't just throw away something this valuable." And it's pretty much him looking almost directly at the camera. And I just like to think that was J.J. Abrams' way of looking at Rian Johnson and going, "You're an idiot." Like, you've
Oh,
ruined
I didn't
this.
even realize that, but you're right. Because
Yeah.
in episode 8, he just tosses it immediately.
Yeah, and there's a few times in this, like you see when they first go to the Sith planet, because I don't know, the name's way too complicated.
Aragon.
Exegol.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aragon.
Exegol. Perfect.
Exegol, thank you. You see the little container with the Snoke clones,
Oh yeah,
and that was J.J. Abrams' way of saying, like, we can't make Snoke big and powerful, because, like, here he is, he's just clones of Palpatine, and Palpatine's a clone of Palpatine for some reason.
Yeah, you're right.
wait, how's he? What do you mean, clone of Palpatine?
Palpatine's just a clone.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Not the original one. Not the claw machine Palpatine.
Okay, so how I took it and how, because I was confused about that too. So the main consensus right now is that the Palpatine we know died on the Death Star. This is just like a backup version, because you know how he says the Sith lived through him? That is the original Palpatine. And that is what pure darkness, or pure, like, Sith looks like, in a sense.
So it's more of like
So
a,
in episode...
a vision.
So in episode 3, when he looks like normal Chancellor Palpatine, and then he gets the lightning struck out, it's kind of them. It's kind of the way of them revealing, like, getting rid of the Sith cloak, because that's what the Sith look like, and that is a clone of Emperor Palpatine. But this Palpatine on Exegol
Yeah.
has always been there, which is why his hands are
Oh.
like crumbling.
That's cool, I guess.
Which it helps a little bit for me, because at the beginning of this movie they go, Palpatine, rumors of Palpatine, like, he's back, and it's like, but how it doesn't make sense.
No, that
And then
really
when
does
you
clear
take
up some
that way in
stuff,
there,
though.
it helps, but they never say that. Like, it's never
Yeah. How
clarified.
likely is it that they actually?
I
came
had
up
to
with
go
something
look up-
that interesting.
I had to go look up stuff about it and it's not even.
Do you think that was the real question? Is do you think that was actually their intent?
I think someone thought of it as like a backup idea, but I don't think that was their original idea.
I think they just said, yeah, this is the same Palpatine as on the Death Star.
I think they did too,
Yeah.
and I think they said we
And
need
then
a villain.
somebody questioned it, and they're just like, well, we said they could clone, so actually it was this, because it doesn't matter technically. Like, it's just more plausible, probably.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of issues like with this movie where it doesn't, like, the timeline either moves too slow in the other movies and it doesn't show anything, or it's too fast and you're just like, I can't keep up with what's going on.
Yeah, like there's too much news happening and not enough reaction to it. Like when Palpatine's back and everybody's like, let's go get him, I guess. Like, I would be fearful. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro, some guy who's
Yeah,
supposed to die
that's
35 years ago is all of a sudden just back.
They didn't really have much reaction to it. They were just like,
Yeah.
Palpatine's back.
Yeah, and then it was
What?
sorry, it was when Leia died. Chewie gets back and he's throwing a fit because he's crying because he's, this is like one of his last friends who died, and it's just like everyone's sitting there like, he doesn't want comfort, he just wants
Yeah,
to
because if you think about
mourn.
it, there's no way Chewie has known these other guys for more than, I mean, to be generous, 2 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years.
And that's being generous.
Yeah, so when Leia dies, he's doing all that, right? And then all of a sudden, in the next scene, it's Maz Kanata. Here, Leia wanted to give this to you. It's a medal. And then they go, I kid you not. Some dude walks up to some random dude walks up. Well, it's the dude from Lost. Some dude walks up to him and goes, hey, buddy, we need you. And Chewie's just going to go fly the Falcon. And it is, excuse me?
Like,
my man just died. He's lost all his friends. It's when C-3PO loses his memories because he doesn't actually. No one cares.
but it's not like Chewie likes C-3PO anyway, so it's not like you can consider him like a close friend either. So yeah, he legitimately loses all of his close friends.
But as us as the audience, like when C-3PO loses his memory, that's him technically dying.
yeah, you're right.
Like, I care about that.
No, I'm saying in the sense of Chewie though. Like I cared when C-3PO died.
Yeah.
That was the most emotional part of the movie. You serious?
Yeah, and then you just have like all these new characters that they introduce, but they don't matter. Like you have what is her name? Zora?
Oh, the one on the
I thought it was like Syrah or
planet that
something
blew
like
up?
that.
Yeah.
With the helmet, the gold
Poe's
helmet.
Old Flame.
Right? She doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's literally there just to give him a plot device. You have the horse lady. She's there to give him horses.
Well, she was also an ex.
They literally ride the horses.
Oh, you're talking about the stormtrooper lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ex-stormtrooper, the one who went rogue. Babu Freak is not a character. He's actually
You talking about the little worm thing? No.
he's a cool character, but he doesn't do anything.
I like that it included him. It made it feel more like Star Wars with him in it.
It did. It wasn't a bad inclusion, but it just didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't a character that was impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have
Dio,
Dio.
whatever his name is. I hate that robot.
Yeah, he's weird. Like
Wait, which one was?
Rip off of the
The little
Pixar
one.
lamp. Is all he
Oh
used.
yeah, the one that could
Like
talk.
that droid is literally
Like,
there
actually-
just because they get stuck in the movie somehow, and that droid is just there.
No, Kylo destroys the Sith Wayfinder
Yeah.
after Rey finds it, and they're like, "We can't get to Aragon," and then Dio's just like, "I can take you there. I know how to get." But in a Dio voice, "I can take you there. I know how to get there."
No,
Oh,
he
the
said-
planet. Yeah.
Said the planet.
Exegol. I can't remember.
Yeah. Like, so what were you saying? What do you think, Anthony, about that part?
I mean, honestly, I really liked it. But when they do the pew pew and
What'd you think
she
about the
gets
color
saber,
choices of R2-D2's eyes or C-3PO's eyes?
C-3PO when it goes red?
Kind of maroonish, but yeah, close enough. You like that?
I did.
Yeah.
I dug it.
You remember when we watched that trailer? I think
Yeah.
you were there to watch it with us.
Yeah.
It actually only happens for like 5 seconds.
Really?
That scene you see in the trailer, that's it.
They make it seem like it's gonna be this huge thing, and obviously, I know everything about Star Wars.
Right. Yeah.
I swore my man was gonna like turn to the dark side.
Just double
He
lightsaber.
should have, dude.
Like homie
It
was
should
about
have been Rey having to make the decision of killing C-3PO because it would have been so emotional.
Or Darth Jar Jar.
But it wouldn't have been the
So what was the
C-3PO we
concept
knew
behind
anyway.
It was literally just that was
he
when
forgot
he
his
got
memory.
He had to read something. So he had a dagger that had.
He had to read the
ancient
Sith language.
So it had ancient Sith language on it, right? And his
I know what that means.
Yeah, his manufacturer protocol basically says you cannot read this.
You can't translate it.
Like you cannot translate it. Like, well, he could read it.
Oh, and so it's telling him like
No.
you can't-
So they go to this planet. That's the whole point. They have to go to some planet to get some guy to go past that protocol.
Oh.
And as soon as he does that, his eyes go red just to read that part. And then
And he's like,
yeah, he has a deep voice like, you must go to this planet. And it's like,
Jesus.
yeah, it's.
but then he
stupid.
snaps
Demonic.
back and he's normal C-3PO, just his memory's wiped now.
Yeah.
And then later he ends up getting his memory back.
And,
And R2-D2 backs it all up.
If I could say the biggest flaw for the movie for me was that Disney, in all of these movies, are too afraid to kill off characters.
They're too afraid to take risks.
But when they do kill them off, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You look at this movie. We're going to talk about this movie clearly. There is a Chewbacca fake death scene, and I was sitting in the theater, and I was like, when they did this, because you don't know, you go, oh my gosh, they killed Chewbacca. It is not a happy death. It is not
Like an honorable death.
It is not something where you get to go one last look at Chewbacca. He gets on a prison transport, and then he gets blown up with like force lightning,
Well,
and
what
you don't
think,
see it.
At least.
Yeah, what you think? And then literally a minute later, they tell you Chewbacca's alive. He was on a different ship.
I didn't mind that, but I thought somebody was gonna die later.
And then it comes
But
into
they
later.
just never.
Kylo Ren gets stabbed with a lightsaber, and I was like, "You just killed Kylo Ren 3/4 of the way through your movie. You've got me back, Disney. Like, this is the way to get me back, is to do something so crazy, because your movies suck. You have to do something insanely crazy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to care, because there's no risk. I don't feel invested in these characters all. And then Rey gets force heal power. Never seen this before, but that's happened in a bunch of Star Wars things, so I'm not too worried about it. But it's just like,
You wouldn't understand. You don't have the power of the Force, okay?
no, it's
Only I do.
but it's more of the idea of like, dude, kill someone. Let me have this, Disney.
Bro,
I
you
want to
wanna
be sad for a minute.
I want to know what the limits are. Like, let's say she just swung around and decapitated Kylo Ren. Can she just like put his head back on his neck and be like force heal, and then it's, oh, I'm back. You know what I mean? Or just if it's like once you're dead, you're dead.
I'm sure it's a pretty like safe thing. Well,
Pretty
no, because
generous
because Kylo dies, and she brings him back. Because
Yeah.
at the end, Kylo sacrifices himself
No.
to save Rey.
Rey was the one that died.
Or Kylo.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
Rey
right.
dies and Kylo brings her back.
You're right. And then Kylo just disappears. But I don't care about that death.
Because he turns into a ghost, so you know he's not actually dead.
Yeah, you know he's not actually dead.
And what's the point now? The Sith is defeated, so like, what are him and Rey gonna run off into the sunset?
Yeah.
Like,
And sure, you
I don't
have,
care.
Oh yeah, that little fling at the end too.
That was
Came
sick.
out of nowhere.
especially with the lady, like, what's your name? Like, I have no idea who this lady is.
Yeah.
This could have been anything. This could have been Jabba the Hutt sitting there, and I would have known better. But you look at Star Wars, and they're able to kill off so many characters, like in X-wing battles and space battles. It's like, dude, I don't care about those characters' deaths. Stop showing me people dying. Like, it doesn't work for me. But show me like main characters actually having to struggle. Because there's a scene in the movie where they go on a Star Destroyer, and I kid you not. You remember the original one, Ray? Episode 4? So I watched a comparison. So when they get on the Millennium Falcon and then get to Princess Leia thing, it takes like 12 minutes. And they're sneaking around. They have to get outfits. They're not shooting anyone until they have to. This movie, in 30 seconds, literally is running and gunning. I mean, they are...
Yeah, he's jumping over people as he's shooting them.
And meanwhile, no one on the ship is aware of this. They're just gunning guys down, and in 30 seconds, they got to where they need to go.
Have you seen that video, by the way, on the Finn paradox?
No.
So this video establishes two things. It says all stormtroopers are black because you never see another one other than Finn.
And that other chick.
Well, yeah. So that other chick. Well, they all are. This is before this
We
movie.
see Phasma.
This is before the episode 8 came out, though.
You see her eye. You see like a part of her face in episode 8 when she gets bashed.
This is before episode 8 came out, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that part of the theory is obviously gone, right? But here's the problem. Like, here's the biggest part of the theory, or I guess the paradox, is Finn doesn't actually. He's selfish because he doesn't actually care about what's right. Because Star Wars tries to make it like we're killing these people, and so I'm gonna defect and I'm gonna go join the Resistance. It's not true. Because if he cared about saving people, he wouldn't be gunning stormtroopers down, the people he's grown up with his entire life, and cheering and being happy every single time they get out of the situation. Like he should be having these like struggles to do this. Because he knows like there are people just like him, and maybe they don't know that they can get out.
It's so frustrating
But
to see.
Finn is such a badly written character, and it's not on like John Boyega's fault. Like he's following the script. But Star Wars just does not have any clue, or the writers of Star Wars do not have any clue on like human perception of each other.
It's so sad to see how hard they threw these characters away.
They're just
story.
not good characters. Like, oh, I hate this movie. Like the fact that Rey doesn't in all these movies doesn't understand how much Finn cares about her. The fact that the best character in the movie, like me and you said, was Poe, because he's the most consistent.
Poe or Kylo. Kylo is by far the best character in this, but like
Yeah.
on the actual like characters you care about or you want to win, Poe is the only one that matters because all his goal is to win.
Yeah.
They don't have any other. He doesn't have any other side thing. It's just I want to win.
And it's
this
not
war.
some ridiculous struggle like in the last movie they introduced the love interest, but he doesn't give up his main objective because of the love interest. He's not like, I can't stay with the rebellion. I need to go after the woman I love. Like he's like, no, we're gonna go blow up some stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And he might be a hothead, but in reality, like he keeps the same idea throughout the entire movie, with Finn and Rey and I don't know who's the last like big character.
Oh, Rose?
Well, Rose doesn't matter. I don't like Rose anyway.
She was barely in this movie.
But with Finn and Rey, like their characters are so badly written and the way they interact with each other and the other people around them that it just makes you go like, why would they do that? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like perfect example. Finn wakes up on the ship in episode 8 and he's covered in that healing thing, right? And he's got the water bags all over him. Like, so one, yes, he'd be super confused, right? But if anybody was in that situation, they wouldn't get up from the bed and wander around the ship. And the first person they make contact with, like, first of all, nobody stops him or anything from the whole walking around the whole ship. The first person he makes contact with is Poe. And Poe goes, oh, Finn, I don't remember what he says exactly. But he immediately goes, where's Rey? And that's it. And in reality, like, no human being is going to react like that. Nobody.
Definitely not like that.
Like, it is the most outlandish thing. Like, and here's the thing. If the difference would be if him and Rey ended up, like, being together somehow, right? It'd have been like, he cared about her the entire time. He was focused on her the entire time. This, and that. And then they got together. But he's literally like, where's Rey? Where's Rey? We got to protect Rey. Come on, guys. Rey needs our help. And at the very end, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. So that's the thing about Finn. I think he's a really selfish character. And the way they wrote him, it's not his fault, like I said, but the way they wrote him is atrocious.
Yeah. So, Elijah, do you think there were any pros to this movie? Like, do you have anything that would go, yeah, this helped the movie a lot? Because we've talked a lot of trash about this movie.
Not light speed skipping.
You've talked a whole episode worth.
Yeah, we've talked quite a lot of trash.
I think the only thing I laughed at in this entire movie was when Palpatine started to take out the ships above Exegol, and he raises his hands, and he literally just goes, die.
I highly disagree.
That's the only thing I laughed at.
I actually think
because it reminded me of the deep fried videos.
Yes.
Where it goes.
I actually think the best thing about this is
That's the only
the
thing
actual worlds. Like the worlds are cool to look at. The background things are cool to look at.
The cinematography has always been the best thing about these.
The cinematography is really good.
100%.
And I guess the battles. The battles are cool to fun and fun.
Actually,
to watch.
I talked to Raymond about this. The problem with these last 3 movies, though, is the choice of cinematography when it comes to the battles. Like, when you look at episode 3, when Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting on Mustafar, right? Mm-hmm. It's this really far out shot, and you can see them fighting. Like, it's not quick cuts here, quick cut here. We're going to pan across the whole entire thing. This movie, there's too many, like, stylistic choices where the camera isn't zoomed out enough to where you can't actually, like, enjoy the battle for what it is.
Right.
Like, it's not one of those things where, like, the camera arches over them so you get a above head shot, and then it does a whole, like, spin around them, right? It's literally like, here's our faces, here's our elbows, now I'm spinning, now I'm backflipping, now we're also in here. You know what I mean? Like, it's 15 different cameras at the same time. That's the only blame I have for the cinematography. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they made great choices.
So, start with Anthony. Would you recommend this movie? What's the score? Out of 10.
Probably like a 3 out of 10. Wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, I feel that. Nathan?
Like a 6.5, maybe 7.
Excuse you?
You're a critic, though.
I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10.
I'd give it around a 6, 6.5 at the most. It has some cool things, but the story is so trash.
You know what the problem is? The fanship of Star Wars and the fan base of Star Wars are so dedicated, and there are so many of them that we can get good stories out of Star Wars. Yeah. Like, whether it's through the fans or like one fan or a collaboration of them, right? That when a movie comes out, like 7, 8, and 9, and it's just not to the standard that even fans can make, who don't have billion-dollar studios behind them, right? Who don't have the ability to fly to the Mojave Desert and put a TIE fighter in the sand and film all around that. Mm-hmm. Like, they're doing this in their backyard with homemade stormtrooper costumes, and they can make a more compelling story than this. It's just disappointing. It's just not, like, fun after that. It's almost like, when do you cut out big Hollywood directors? Because maybe that's the problem. Big Hollywood directors that you would normally be like, oh, they're reliable. Like, they've worked on a ton of high budget stuff. And you go for the risky, like, we're going to get writers and directors that are brand new to the experience, but they're passionate about it. And you can tell that they're passionate about it.
Call me George. I won't do anything. I just want you to call me George.
To literally call him
Maybe
by the name
you-
of
dude,
George.
Yeah.
You know, like usually you audition to act in the movie. Dude, we're gonna start having writer auditions, dude. Are you serious? We're gonna be like, you're on this planet. Here's the weapons you have. Write a story about it. And they're gonna be like, well, what's the monster? But you're like, write the story.
Ready, set, go.
Yeah, legit. And they're gonna be like remember like the old tests in high school. Well, Elijah, you're still in high school. Remember like the tests though, the what are they called? Timed writes, where you have an hour.
Oh, I hate
And they're
those.
like, write a compelling argument on why seatbelts should be allowed. You have 1 hour, go. And you're just like, well, I'm good at writing, so I never stressed out. But
I hate.
I'm
I
saying,
hate
dude,
those.
maybe that's legitimately the direction we have to go. Because if this next movie is bad, well, maybe it's not gonna be, because they're not compelled to like do anything. They can make a whole new movie.
Wait, this wasn't the last movie?
No, it is for the saga, but they're gonna probably make spin-off movies and stuff, or just like separate Star Wars universe movies.
Please just end the Star Wars.
No,
No.
it's not like the same Star Wars you would know though. Like they might just make
No,
like a
Knights of
A
the
mo-
Old Republic.
no, not even that. It might just be like the Star Wars universe, but they don't like it interacts with anything that we would know about Star Wars. Like I'm on this planet in Star Wars. Like we might what's a random planet in Star Wars?
Tatooine.
No, something that's not relevant though.
Bespin.
Okay, it's not that relevant, but so we'll use Bespin. Like it could be just some guy on Bespin, and it's a heist movie, and it has nothing to do with Star Wars, but it's in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally what Fast and Furious is starting to do now.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace.
Rest
Paul
in
Walker.
peace, Fast and Furious.
Paul Walker.
It's been a long day.
Shut up. Now, let's
Without
talk
you,
about
my
a
friend.
real movie. 10 out of 10. We don't need to get anyone else's opinion.
Is it Knives Out?
Threat Level Midnight.
I
Never
that
saw
movie.
it.
Directed by Michael Scarn himself.
Never
Really?
saw it.
Wait, which one is Threat Level Midnight?
Michael
I
Scott?
think The Office is overrated.
Oh, I thought we were gonna talk about Knives Out. I was down for that.
Yeah. Dude,
Knives Out was
was great.
fantastic
It
movie.
I loved Clue.
Did we ever talk about Knives Out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Did we really?
Yeah, we did.
You didn't see it yet, though. So let's talk about it with Anthony now.
Dang.
Are we
I'm
actually?
We could
here.
do it. We could do a way quicker one. Yeah.
Dude,
It was
for
good.
Knives Out, I loved Clue. Loved it. Grew up loving
Oh,
Clue.
wait. By
playing
the way, if
Clue.
you guys want a longer video on Star Wars, because this is kind of long, but if you want a longer one, let us know in the comments.
Don't let us know. Dear
Please,
God.
I will.
No,
talk
I meant
for
like a more
hours.
personal one. Like we can even do
I
one.
probably
or
couldn't
two
talk for
people.
hours anymore.
Me and Nathan can.
Yeah,
So-
legit.
Very great movie. It's like you expected this to happen. Nope, that's not the case. Which I mean is literally all that, Clue is. And I'm just correlating it to Clue
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it literally mentions it.
It's a
as,
lot like Clue.
In the movie.
The
they
idea of
literally
Clue.
say like this feels like something out of a Clue movie or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like that's literally what it is. But it's such a well written movie, funny at a lot of times.
Yeah, nothing feels forced in that movie.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
really nice.
Because we were talking about Star Wars with episode 8. Ryan Johnson did episode 8, and everyone criticized how trashy he is as a director. But he did Knives Out.
And it was a
it's
fantastic movie.
fantastic. So I think it shows that, like,
It's not Ryan Johnson's fault, like entirely.
sure. We'll say
Well,
sure.
he can make good movies.
My
at
man
least, right?
wrote a trash script, but with Knives Out was very good. I would say
Very good.
if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Did you guess the ending though?
No, actually, I had a whole different story for what was gonna happen.
Oh, you had
And then
this
it
in your
was
mind,
like-
and it
But
ended, and you're like,
I mean,
no,
that was
come
like
on.
at the very beginning, and it was like, oh, this is gonna happen, and then more things started to happen. And I went, oh,
Bro, when they
this
reveal
is
she
happening.
killed them, I was
No.
just like, no way.
When that happened, I legit was like, all right, bro.
So
I have no
you
clue what's
you
going
finally
on
get
now.
used to that, right? You're like, okay, she killed them, right?
We just run out of space, I'm guessing. Yeah.
She says like, they say like, oh yeah, she killed him, and then you're like, wait, the vials were switched, and you're like, so who killed him?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, no, when they said the vials were switched, I was like, oh, he did it on purpose, and he planned this out because this
Yeah,
is the dude
that's
who
what I
writes
thought.
the books, and he knows all this. He planned his own death from this long ago, and it's like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
nah,
No,
none
man.
of that.
He
My man
said
dead.
He said, oh shoot, I'm gonna die. Yeah,
Yeah.
ripped it.
Bro, there was multiple times of like, yeah, I know. what's
I don't think we
going on.
spoiled too
Come
much
on,
else
bro.
because I don't know. It's
This
one of those
movie's
movies.
been out for over a month though, so
I'm
Yeah.
giving it a 9 out of 10.
It's
Giving it a
very
9.5
good.
out of
yeah,
10.
Yeah,
probably
9 out of
not.
10.
What a
I'd give it a
phenomenal
9 out
movie.
of 10.
Yeah.
really good movie.
Did you see it, Ray? Great movie.
We're having a movie night.
I think we should wrap this up because we're like an hour and 14 minutes into this.
Yeah, probably.
Good lord. We talk too much.
So
It's our 10th episode special.
It
Let's
is
go
our
for
10th
2 more hours.
Uh,
Every night.
All right.
I gotta go. I'm tired. I'm kind of.
Mouth of Babes, 3-hour special. When we hit episode 11, let's go.
Anyway, please, Elijah, say please.
please.
Follow the Twitter. It's right there. It's right here.
It's right here.
Follow
Here.
something else?
Are we in?
No, we haven't done any of that yet.
but
We can say we're
But
doing
this is
it.
the 10th episode special. This is when we're going to launch it.
so I guess
Follow
we can.
our Instagram.
Yeah,
We're
I
getting
guess
an
we
We're
can-
getting an Instagram! We already have one. We just got to post stuff on
We're
it now.
officially normies now.
Normies.
It's right here. I think it's the same name. Ray will confirm it. Follow this page, of course. Subscribe to
Of
it.
course, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Press the little bell thing.
Get a little ding.
For
You don't
post notifications.
It's kind of it's
Leave
kind
the
of a-
comment. Please leave a comment. We need to know if these are good or not. And you guys suck at telling us if they're trash or not. Well, just tell us.
Yeah,
if they're
dude,
trash.
I
We
get a
know they're
lot of
trash.
calls. I'm your number 1 fan. Do you even like? Do you even comment?
Probably not.
Wait, do you even
I don't do it.
like?
And
The double like.
should we tell them about the other thing that we're working on?
What's the other thing? The
Here, Ray, cut this part. The website.
Oh, we can. We just
Yeah.
got to get it done.
We'll just tell about it. Like we're working on it. All right. I'll go.
We could tell you guys about the website, but we got to get it done. That's
Yeah,
the only, that's the only
Yeah,
thing.
we are working on a website.
Yeah,
so we're
so-
getting and we're doing like a whole graphic.
You know what
redesign
that
of
means
our
in the
stuff.
future, though. MERCH. I was gonna spell it like with my finger. That's not worth it. Merch.
Oh, merch! I thought you were trying to spell.
I
mercy.
cannot-
You said
I actually
hold on,
cannot
pause.
wait
You said
till we get merch.
MERECH.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
merch.
Merch.
What do you think the merch is gonna be spelled
selling
right?
merch?
We're not spell checking nothing.
yeah.
Big things
Sponsor
coming.
us.
Episode 10 is only the beginning.
Nathan, can you say the saying that you say?
This has been the pod mouth of cast babes.
Thank you.
We
Can
are
you try that again? Look at your hand. It's written on your hand.
This has been Nathan's show starring Elijah Anthony Nicholas with special guest Nathan. This has been the Mouth of Babes podcast, episode 10, Chasing the Bag, episode 9. We're the babes. These are our mouths, all 4 of them. We'll see you next time.
But you won't see Elijah.
We'll see you next
Back in
time
School.
when high school's back in session and we can talk trash about people still taking timed rights and Star Wars and anything else we want to because it's our podcast.
What up?